I've always dreamed of pulling my own homegrown onions and garlic out of the garden. But if I'm being honest, the idea of fall planting has always been a little mystifying. It feels like there's so much pressure. If you mess it up, you have to wait a whole year to try again. But not this year. This is the year I'm cracking the code. I've learned that with a few simple tricks for prepping the soil and planting, a massive harvest next summer is totally within reach. Today, I'm going to show you exactly what I've learned so you can do it too. We'll walk through everything from soil prep to planting techniques, so you can get these amazing alliums in the ground with total confidence. First things first, why are we even talking about this now? Why not just wait for spring? That was my first question too. Well, it turns out that planting these crops in the fall gives them a massive head start. The cool autumn soil is the perfect environment for them to establish strong, deep root systems before the ground freezes solid. This extended growing season is the secret to getting bigger, more flavorful bulbs next summer. Garlic especially needs a cold period, a process called vernalization, to trigger the single clove you plant to divide and form a full head. Planting in the fall basically mimics their natural life cycle. When you work nature instead of against it, you're setting yourself up for a much more impressive harvest. Think of it as a long-term investment that pays off with some seriously delicious dividends. Alright, let's get our hands dirty. This part used to intimidate me, but it's actually the most critical step for a successful harvest. Onions and garlic both need loose, fertile, and well-draining soil to really shine. If your soil is too heavy or compacted, the bulbs can't expand, and if it stays waterlogged, they can rot over the winter. Nobody wants that. First, pick your spot. Find a place in your garden that gets at least 5 to 6 hours of direct sun each day. Full sun is definitely best. Once you've got your location, it's time to beef up the soil. The goal is a rich, fluffy bed for your future bulbs. The best way to do this is by adding a generous amount of organic matter, like well-rotted compost, aged manure, or shredded leaves. I'm using a mix of compost and leaves from my own yard. You'll want to work this into the top 8 to 10 inches of soil. If you have heavy clay soil like I do, this step is non-negotiable. The compost breaks up the clay, improves drainage, and allows the roots to breathe. If your soil is on the sandy side, organic matter acts like a sponge, helping to hold onto moisture and nutrients. Next, make sure the bed is completely weed-free. Onions and garlic have shallow root systems and are terrible at competing for water and nutrients. A clean start is one of the easiest ways to help them grow strong. Pro tip: some gardeners water the bed after preparing it, wait for new weed seeds to sprout, and then clear them out planting. It's an extra step, but it can save you a ton of work down the road. Finally, consider using raised beds. They aren't a must, but they are fantastic for ensuring good drainage, which is a game changer in wet climates where rot is a major concern. If you found these tips helpful, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and join us for more gardening secrets. Alright, let's take a quick pause. We've just covered what is honestly the most critical part: getting that soil foundation just right. If you're finding these tips helpful so far, do me a favor and hit that like button. And if you want to follow along all the way to harvest, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss an update. Okay, with our garden beds prepped, let's get to the really fun part. First up, onions. For fall planting, you'll most likely be using onion sets. Small, immature onion bulbs grown from seed the previous season. They're the easiest and most reliable choice for beginners. When you're picking them out, and this sounds backward, go for the smaller sets, about the size of a dime or less. Timing is everything. Plant your onion sets about 4 to 6 weeks before the ground is expected to freeze. This gives them just enough time to establish roots without putting on too much top growth that could be damaged by a hard frost. Planting is simple. You can either dig shallow trenches or just press them into the loose soil, pointy tip up. Plant them about 3/4 of an inch to 2 inches deep. For spacing, give them about 4 to 6 inches between each set. It might look like a lot of empty space now, but we're aiming for big, beautiful onions next summer, and they need room to bulk up. Next up is garlic, my personal favorite. The process is a lot like planting onions, but with a few key differences. Just like with onions, you want to plant garlic about 4 to 6 weeks before the ground freezes. First, prep your cloves. Take a healthy garlic bulb and break it into individual cloves. But wait to do this until you're ready to plant. Planting depth is really important and depends on where you live. In warmer climates, planting cloves 1 to 2 inches deep is fine. But in colder, northern climates, you need to go deeper, about 3 to 4 inches, to protect them from the harsh winter. And always, plant the clove with the flat, root end down, and the pointy tip facing up. If you plant it upside down, the garlic will waste a ton of energy trying to right itself. Spacing is also crucial. Give each clove 4 to 6 inches of space on all sides. Some giant varieties like elephant garlic might need up to 8 inches. Don't crowd them. For garlic, a thick layer of mulch is non-negotiable, especially in cold climates. After planting, cover the entire bed with a fluffy 4 to 6 inch layer of organic mulch. Shredded leaves, dry grass clippings, or straw are all great choices. For onions, the advice is a little different. They also benefit from mulch, but you'll want to apply a much lighter layer, maybe just an inch or two. Some gardeners worry that a thick mulch can hold too much moisture right around the maturing bulbs, which can lead to rot. Once you've planted and mulched, your main job is done until spring. Winter rain and snowmelt usually provide all the moisture your plants will need. When spring arrives and you see green shoots poking through the mulch, it's time to pay attention again. Both onions and garlic are heavy feeders and need plenty of nutrients to grow big bulbs. Once the shoots are a few inches tall, give them their first shot of fertilizer. A fertilizer high in nitrogen is perfect for encouraging lots of leafy growth. Organic options like blood meal or fish emulsion work great. Keep the beds watered throughout the spring, especially if it's dry. Onions are particularly thirsty and need consistent moisture to form large bulbs. But as harvest time gets closer and you see the tops turning yellow and falling over, it's time to cut back or stop watering completely, and that's really all there is to it. It's just a series of simple steps that lead to an incredible reward. I'm planting a few different varieties this year, some hardneck garlic and some classic yellow onion sets. What are you planning to grow this fall? I know it feels like a big leap of faith to put something in the ground in the fall and trust it'll show up next year. But by preparing your soil, planting at the right depth and spacing, and giving your garlic that crucial layer of mulch, you've done everything you can to set yourself up for success. Happy planting, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button before you go.